Howdy do. So the point of this video series is kind of be like a podcast-esque kind of a thing, which it could involve other people in the future as well. And I kind of wanted to do this idea where we kind of just talk about general Jinx stuff, as well as this video kind of act like me just kind of talking to the people that are on my channel, the community, if you will, and stuff like that too, which is probably why it's going to have a weird work in progress title, like Jinx Chaos Theory or something like that, because ultimately it's still going to be Jinx centric, but it's going to be kind of also just some other stuff as well. What I mean by that too is basically let's say some minor Jinx changes happened, or I was watching August's stream, there was a minor conversation about Jinx that wasn't really worth an entire video. Well, maybe after several of those, what I would do is compile them into a video like this. So instead of maybe the Let's Talk Jinx videos where they have a specific topic to talk about, this could be more like a general Jinx and channel discussion. On top of that, I did also have a proper April Fool's idea I was going to do today, but what I'm trying to use to make it work, the software, the tools, if I will, to make it work, I'm not going to be able to get it out and done before the end of April Fool's, so I'm kind of doing this instead. So there's that too. So when you see that video, I'll probably just put April Fool's in the title since they'll be out after April Fool's at this point. But now you can know, it's kind of why videos have been maybe a little scarce lately. I'm kind of working on something, and if this works, this April Fool's idea works, it's kind of also an idea I might want to carry on into future projects as well, because it's actually a pretty cool idea, and you'll see what I mean when that video comes out, which should be out later this week, right? Tomorrow is TLDR patch notes, and then Wednesday, of course, it's the Let's Talk Jinx episode, so by Thursday, I should have it working, and probably put it up Thursday then instead. But that's also what I want to do this video idea, is because then I can also just just talk. No editing, no animations, no video files to go corrupt and go wrong over and over and over and over, right? I'll just put a still image, and that way you can listen to this in the background, on a side tab and stuff like that. Because when I was first doing this channel, and when I was first growing, one of the things I was complimented the most was my voice quality. Not even the voice itself, but the voice quality, and the idea that you could watch my videos or just have it up in another tab while you did something else. So if you're grinding rank games right now, but you kind of wanted to watch this video, technically the video will be probably a still image, so you can just listen to this video and continue doing what it is you want to do. So while this first episode might be more of a general episode, future episodes will probably be a bit more Jinx centric. So I kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of what this is kind of be about heading forwards. This episode might be particularly shorter than usual as well, because like I said, in future episodes, what it'll probably be is if there's minor Jinx stuff or minor meta stuff that might affect Jinx, but isn't really worth an entire video, or if I did try to make it into a video, it'd just be a 1.5 minute video, which sometimes people want. They want kind of short, fast, quick content, but maybe perhaps what I do is I compile this over a week, or over maybe if this is just a once a month kind of a thing, because when I used to do this idea called channel news, it'd basically be to update new subscribers, who I am, what I did on this channel, what you could expect on this channel, and stuff like that. And I kind of stopped that idea. And there's a reason for that. For those, some of you already know, but I never really announced it over on this main channel. But for those of you that do care, I kind of have a second channel that I do now, a second YouTube channel. And what I decided to do after looking at analytics and stuff back in October, I want to say now, is I decided to stop doing variety content on this main channel, because that's the kind of content that never really did that great after a while. This channel was a variety channel, but it became a League channel, and now the only stuff that does well over here is League content, and that's totally fine, right? People subscribed to this channel for League stuff, and even more so for Jinx stuff specifically. So I'm totally fine deciding hey, okay, that's what this channel has to be, is just League stuff, and then within that even Jinx stuff. But that does mean, because I do like creating all kinds of stuff, I did have to create a second channel to go and put all that other stuff on there as well. So currently, for example, I finally started my first Let's Play after 10,000 years. So we're currently in the middle of going through Sonic Adventure 2 Battle over there, episode by episode. And so that's been pretty fun. And then there's other kind of sketch and comedy stuff. There even is some League stuff over there. But in terms of when I say League content, the only kind of stuff that really seems to have search volume and SEO and terms that maybe you don't know of. But basically what I mean by search volume and SEO is things that people are at least looking for. So when they search for a certain topic, your video will come up if you optimize your tags. Well, when it comes to like the raps and stuff, like the last rap I ever made was a Jinx rap back in October for Jinx's 5-year anniversary in League of Legends. Within the channel, like the people that watched it, it has like 15 likes to only 1 dislike, so it was actually received pretty well. But there's not really a lot of search volume for League of Legends raps, unless you're maybe already established, like Bad Administrator or something like that, right? But even then, right, like the term like League of Legends raps or League music even, that's not really like the login songs and stuff like that. There's not really a lot of volume and a lot of people searching for that to warrant the time and effort that it usually takes people to make that kind of content and then put that out, which is why maybe you've seen less and less of more of the creative stuff over time, is because it's not really blaming like the community either. But if the community only wants, say, PvE stuff, or like people saying something's broken or wild, or like being mad about balance, about Riot and stuff like that, if that's where the people are, then as creators, we have to move to what that is. Or if we don't want to move to what that is, then we understand when our channel suffers. And so I decided that I would just move to where that is. So that explains then a little bit about that too, where there's a second channel, why there's a second channel. If you want to follow that second channel, because some of you guys did actually kind of want to see like just what I create for the sake of, and on the stream as well, I will put links to that probably either in the description or in the pinned comment down below. You guys are free to go check that out and subscribe over there as well. But just know, like I do have a League skit in mind, and this is an example of why I bring this up, and it'll probably go on that channel instead of this channel, just because again, on this channel, it's kind of understood, you know, PvE stuff, League stuff, balance stuff, and that's fine. You subscribed for the content, you didn't necessarily subscribe for the content creator. And that maybe makes it sound a bit rude, like, hey, wait, that's not fair. I'm not saying you guys like don't care about me as a person. I'm just saying, like, when people in general are subscribing to our channels, be it me or be it a Redmercy or Phy or whoever you consider big in the League sphere currently. Sphere? Yes, sphere. In the League sphere, in the League sphere currently, whoever you consider big. A lot of people subscribe to them for the content that they're making, and it's good content. People will compliment them on the good job making the content, but overall, like, that's why, right? Like, if Redmercy or myself, we just had a channel up with no content on it, people probably wouldn't have subscribed, because at least without something on it, there's nothing to subscribe to. Even if some of you guys over time are like, I've kind of enjoyed you as a person, it's going to take time to build that up and get to that point, right? You even look at some of the more popular Let's Players, and I'll use them as an example, like a MARKIPLIER, right? Like, nowadays, a lot of people kind of will watch whatever, or at least the people that subscribe to him and that are fans of his, will kind of watch whatever he does, no matter what it is that he does, because over time, he's gotten to a point where people kind of want to see him for him, be it because of the charity streams and the kind of character he's like, you know, presented himself as, or whatever. He's evolved past doing like just Let's Plays of something. People want to see more than just his Let's Plays. They want to see what he does as a person. I'm not there yet. And within the League sphere, it's also kind of hard to get to that point too, because League changes every 2 weeks, which is part of why people do League content sometimes, is because it's in a very sustainable way, in an unsustainable kind of line of work, to have a general stream of new content to give people. The issue about that, though, kind of tends to be, though, however, like a flip side of the coin, is what you kind of actually want to do as a YouTuber is what's called evergreen content. Content that you can make that's pretty much timeless. Like someone could watch 3 days later, 3 weeks later, 3 months later, even 3 years later, and still either get a laugh out of it, or it's still informative, or something like that. It's not like topical and time sensitive, and once it's come and gone, that's it. Which is kind of the problem with doing League content sometimes, is that, you know, you do a patch video, and that patch is gone in 2 weeks, and now that video is just a dead video on your channel forever. And then YouTube, like the algorithm and stuff, will recognize that basically your channel has a bunch of like dead videos on it, and that's actually really not good. And that's why then people have to keep making PvE videos to try and stay ahead of the curve, is because they need to keep putting out new videos that will generate more views and stuff like that, because the old videos aren't going to do that anymore. They're not evergreen content. They're time-sensitive content that after a certain time are kind of just useless unless you do something extra, which is kind of why I brought up Redmercy. He does the Journey to Challenger videos, and the importance there is that so when his patch videos become dead videos on his channel, because no one needs to watch a video about like patch 7.9 from 2 years ago anymore, they can watch his Journey to Challenger series, and even though that can kind of be time sensitive, at the same time, if it's, you know, entertaining enough, if the editor's good enough and stuff like that, it could be funny enough that people will still want to rewatch that even long after the patch that game might have been played on. I currently don't do stuff like that because my computer, for one, it really can't do League stuff. It's part of why the stream, I changed my stream name to the same name as the secondary channel, is because I can't, even if I really wanted to just stream League, I really can't. My computer cannot do it. So there's that too. It's part of why people have kind of been requesting gameplay videos for some time, and I've kind of been wanting to oblige to them to in a bit, but it's also then kind of why when I have done gameplay videos, they've been like a comedy kind of video, and they've kind of been in bots, so that way if the computer like sometimes straight up crashes when I try and play League, I don't cost actual like ranked players the game because I was their teammate, and then suddenly, you know, I've disconnected, I'm gone, I lose them the game over something that I kind of knew was a possibility. If I just do it in a custom game, then even if we crash, I'm not like causing people the game, except for like the bots I was playing with, which is kind of maybe not fair to basically put bots on a lower level than people, kind of like that's like bot discrimination, huh? That's not good. Anyways, so with that being said, maybe one day, right, if I get a better computer, we'll see where we can go from there. But that links to that first idea because the April Fool's thing, I'm trying something despite some of the drawbacks or technical drawbacks of the computer. We're going to see. I'm going to try and get something to work that if we can pull it off, it'll be pretty cool. Because if we can pull it off, the April Fool's video that I had planned for y'all would be all right, but then there's future ideas that I can apply it to that would also hopefully be very entertaining. Now granted, unlike this, which is like I said, it's something you can watch or have open in a side tab or like while you're grinding your your ranked games and stuff, this will be way more visual, so you definitely would have to watch these kinds of videos when they come out, but it won't be this idea like the Jinx Chaos Theory Podcast or whatever the actual final work in progress name will be. That will never be a part of this. Every time you see that title, it'll always be something you can click on and then go back to whatever you were doing and just listen to. That's the one promise I will make about doing this specific series and this idea, which is kind of why I wanted to do this and why this is probably going to be rough around the edges for a first episode. Case in point, I've been debating doing this all day that now I'm kind of tired, so I'm pretty sure my voice is like really bad. There's probably some awkward pauses and stuff while I swallow because I didn't really like drink enough water and stuff beforehand to talk for like many minutes on end, and it's gonna be all over the place. It's gonna be basically chaotic, which might be actually a very fitting name for this because usually my ideas aren't super organized enough, like maybe some other podcasts and stuff are, but you know, maybe this organized enough to still be kind of cool. So with that being said, I brought up a bunch of YouTube stuff just because in the past I've had people, you know, asking me about doing YouTube and then doing League YouTube specifically. So I thought I'd take a second to do that and why, you know, I decided to pick Jinx as my kind of central champion to talk about as well. I've brought this up in past videos, but if you were going to do League of Legends content, one of the things that I have to stress is what you don't want to do is try to be a clone of some of the bigger creators in the scene. Because the thing about it is, if we've gone over the whole idea that people kind of are watching the content for the content and not the content creator, at least until they get to know them maybe over time or something, and then maybe get to be like, hey, I kind of want to see what this person does, even if they step outside of their niche. In general, if that's the case, people just kind of want the PvE stuff, whoever's getting out the PvE stuff first. Some of my most successful videos was because I got a PvE video out before some of the bigger creators. So I got the tens of thousands of views on a video, and that was why. Another reason, though, is because I specialize in a single champion, and you gotta also kind of think about what else can you bring to the table. If someone is binge watching League of Legends content, what else can you do to make someone want to watch you even after they've watched some of the bigger or at least other people in the scene? So instead of competing with like a Redmercy doing your own like journey to challenger, you know, put a creative twist on it, right? Like what are you gonna do? I mean, maybe if it's a journey to challenger specifically, it'll be fine. But what I mean is like, let's pretend we'll have Redmercy, Phy, and myself. Like that's what I usually use because a lot of the people that watch my videos know who they are too. Let's say Redmercy is the person you go to for the Journey to Challenger videos, the almost Challenger gameplay stuff and, you know, the editing and stuff, funny stuff like that. Let's say you go to Phy for the, you know, big changes coming to the next patch or new changes coming to the next patch, etc., etc. You need to then, as a third person in the trifecta, if everything comes in threes, right? You as the third person that person might want to watch needs to decide what else can I do that if someone's watched both of those things, they'd still want to watch a video I'm making. There's that awkward pause I'm talking about. So I gotta swallow a lot, and that's maybe TMI, sorry. But anyways, basically what I'm saying is like, okay, you watch Redmercy's video, you watch Phy's video. What I decided to do is be like, I want to be a discussion channel. I want to be a discussion channel where instead of me giving you the facts and then the comments is usually people saying this has to be a way it is, and if you disagree or whatever, people start arguing because that's how this community works. I decided to make a discussion channel where people can kind of discuss their different opinions and try and create a space where people can do that without flaming each other in the comment section. They can disagree and they can have conversations about why they even disagree, but in a civil way. That's what I've tried to build over time, and it's kind of worked at this point, right? But then I took it a step further and decided to centralize on Jinx, who was my main champion at the time as well. And even though I'm not necessarily the best Jinx player, what gave me traction was the fact that I would still put in a lot of time and effort researching the champion, and as such getting as much factual information I could from a bunch of different sources, like even August Browning himself, the kit designer for Jinx. August his name's August Uwu on Twitch. I don't think it's Riot August Uwu. I think it's just Riot August, or it's Riot Jinxie Lord. He's a man of many names, let's just put it that way. But like that's something I'll do, right? Like I'll go to their Twitch stream when they're streaming, I'll try and ask them specific questions that I've seen both bronze and diamond player alike Jinx players ask. And that way when I make those videos on Wednesday, I'll have the answers to some of those questions that people across the elos have had answers to. So one of the misconceptions is like, oh, can I not make, league content if I'm not a challenger player? Not necessarily. It turns out the league community, at least when it comes to specific mains anyways, they just kind of want an environment that talks about their champion, because some people just were like, hey, my champion's kind of not that popular. So if you're making a YouTube channel on my champion, that's probably good enough for me to start with. But B, as long as you're at least putting in the effort to try and give factual information, even if it's not from you as like the best player on that champion, turns out people will still kind of like you and the content you are making. So if I use York, for example, and that's not to say York's unpopular, I actually don't know where York lies on the spectrum right now. But if you're here's the thing, honestly, even if you're like a silver York player, if you put in a lot of time and effort doing the research behind the videos you're making, asking the right people the questions, using if York mains have a Discord, for example, using that Discord to talk to the higher elo York players as you're compiling a video and asking them about their experiences, what they ban, what they think's a good build, what they think's a good general build too, not just in their elo, but in general on York, what they think is strong on York or weak on York, what do you think people could be doing better at lower elos? Like as long as you take the time to do that kind of research, it turns out that people will probably actually still like your videos and not even probably look up your op.gg, because they're just going to be more worried about what you're saying in the video itself. And I bring that up because there's a misconception where it's like, even if when it comes to like rioters working on a champion, if they don't play the champion, how is it possible that they can make good changes on the champion? And that's basically your answer, right? Like even if they don't play a lot of a champion, as long as they do the research, they ask the player base, they study stuff, right? Then they can still make probably good and accurate changes, and that's probably still good to go for the most part, right? Like people can still get stuff wrong. I get stuff wrong. But that's a misconception that I see about where it's like, I can't do league videos because I'm like silver 2. It's like, as long as you are willing to put in the research, right? Like, don't be basically a silver 2 and saying that in silver 2 you have all the answers and everybody should be doing it this way, right? That's been one of the things that I've done, because I know, especially like this last year with computer issues and stuff, I did not make it to no challenger. I'm just going to spoil that right now in case anyone thought I was challenger. I'm not, and I did not even come close because of some technical difficulties and stuff like that. But with that being said, what I did do was make sure I didn't ask the right people questions. And when I make those videos, I don't make those videos based off of my experience or what I think is right. I try and look at what's actually factual across many different elos and across different Jinx players, and even sometimes just AD carry players in general, what's going on. And then of course, like I said, August Browning, you pull from resources that people can trust even if they can't trust you, and then it turns out you can still make a pretty good quality video. So that'd be my advice, and also kind of why I chose Jinx specifically, because even though Jinx is somewhat a popular champion, I wanted to make like a Jinx specific, not even an AD carry specific, but like a Jinx specific YouTube kind of a channel. And that's why we have the Wednesday Talk Jinx videos, and that's why they eventually became the discussion thread kind of videos on the Jinx subreddit. That also was called blah 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 blah. That was also because of Discord becoming a thing, and sometimes the traffic kind of left the subreddit to go to the Discord, and now we wanted an idea to bring traffic back to the subreddit, and now I think it's pretty balanced between the Discord and the subreddit. But anyways, yes, that's why I did that. That's why a lot of the stuff that has happened, as a matter of fact. And that's why if you're looking to make one, let's say your champion's Yorick, or your champion's Tryndamere, or your champion's Yasuo, or like Zed, even the popular champions, like that's what I mean. If you're wanting to be like a Zed-centric channel, but you're like Redmercy exists, just think of what Redmercy doesn't do that you can still supply people. Don't compete with the people that are already established, because in this particular community, a lot of people are after the content being made. Not saying Redmercy doesn't have fans, not saying Phy doesn't have fans, not saying I don't have fans, which is kind of weird to think. I have a fan right in front of me. It's blowing nice cold air. With that being said, though, like that's kind of what you want to do, actually, is think about what else can you bring to the table that will make people want to consume your content as well as those other people's content, and not go, oh, I'm going to skip them because I've basically already seen this, right? Which is ironic. It's a catch-22, because on the flip side of that coin is like, well, what about the times, if you look back, when I tried to do comedy skits, and I tried to do like comedy just stuff, period, or I tried to do the songs, I tried to do the raps, I tried to do all that stuff, and the fact that those never gained traction. By that logic, shouldn't those have gained traction because those are things that people weren't doing, and as such, that's something new to the table that I'm bringing? Yes and no, right? Like I said, the people that did watch the Jinx rap, because it's a Jinx-centric channel, they tend to like it. It's still up there, it exists, it's great. But in general, like I said, there's no search volume for it, so you do have to work within the lines of what's being searched for, what people are looking for, what people are looking up, and they want to see and stuff like that. And what they want to see mainly is new skins, balanced stuff, PvE stuff, outrage stuff, drama stuff, stuff like that. That's what they want to see more of, and that's why, like I said, I moved the variety content to that second channel. Again, if you want to go to that second channel, there will be a link somewhere below, so make sure to go below once this video ends, of course. So that being said, let's see what else have I not covered. Also, that's also kind of why maybe, like I said, videos have been kind of scarce, but like I said, working on a project. And then on top of that, as a Jinx-centric channel, I've kind of been going for the route of let's just work and focus on making the Wednesday videos very, very good. So not this last patch video, but the patch video before. So I think we're going into patch 9.7 at the time that I'm recording this. Not 9.6, because that was only like a 4-minute video, but patch 9.5, it ended up being like an almost 18-minute video, as an example, of me kind of not doing other videos throughout the week on the League channel, and instead trying to make that video even better by going like elo by elo and going over stats and stuff like that for ranks and stuff and climbing and things like that. Turns out that video didn't actually really do all that well. It was actually one of the more or worst performing videos. And I think it's because it was just too long. Like on average, for whatever reason, my average view duration, no matter what I do, if it's, an informative, narrative, comedy, rap, songs, whatever it is, it tends to actually only have an average view duration of about 48 seconds to 1 minute and 34 seconds. So I maybe gotta figure out how I can make it longer, make that longer. I don't know. I bring that up to say, so if I make a 17-minute video, that didn't maybe do so well because if my average view duration is that low, then that video is like way too long for the people that watch my videos, right? Which is also kind of ironic. Some of my most successful videos still have that same kind of average view duration despite the videos being well received. People saying, what a great video. And it's like, that's great. Even though apparently people only watch about a minute of it and it's like a 13-minute video. I'll take it. I'm appreciative of it regardless, don't get me wrong. I do kind of find that kind of interesting though, that apparently something about the first minute of my video makes or breaks my videos, which is making me kind of subconscious if I need to re-record this video maybe and just go and put a bunch of cool like catchphrases and stuff at the beginning of this video. Maybe not. Actually, that's probably a bad idea. With that being said, that basically means if you're watching or I guess listening to the video this far, this video is probably long at this point, and you're kind of in a unique kind of a crowd, and thank you very much, because that's also something I want to bring up, since we are talking about YouTube a bit as well as Jinx, is that if you do YouTube, there's a misconception that the way you get paid is based off of the views, right? Like if you did a video with 2,000 views, so that's like $2,000, or at least that's a good, decent amount of money. No, the views itself can be maybe an indicator a little bit, but it's basically based off of ads and it's based off of watch time. So basically, a lot of actually creators don't make as much money on YouTube as you might think, because a lot of people use things like ad block, and it makes sense because there's a lot of ads that come your way that you just don't want. Part of the reason we watch content online is to not deal with ads like we would on TV, but there they are. And with that being said, right, like, so I get it. But for those that don't know, we actually get paid based off of ad interaction. And that's sometimes as little as just an ad being watched, right? Like at the beginning of a video, they throw you like a 15-second or even 2 15-second ads. That's actually how we're getting paid, not actually by the views. The views can be helpful, right? They can be, like I said, an indicator. If you're getting like 100,000 views of video, you're probably getting more money than someone that's only making about 100 views of video. But it's basically mainly based on watch time and ad interaction, which is why there's that whole meme about making videos that were 10 minutes and 1 second long, because the way YouTube has it set up with Google advertisement is if your video is at least that long, then all of the kinds of ads provided you can put on a video. If your video is too short, you can only put certain kinds of ads on your video. And so that's why that works. That's why people try and make content, and that meme kind of surfaced about making content that was 10 minutes and 1 second long, because then that's how you get maximum payment, is because you can put all kinds of ads on your video. It also means when 80% of your audience is using ad block, you're actually not getting paid all that much, because a lot of people are just blocking those ads and not actually engaging with them, or even skipping them for that matter, right? Like there's nothing going on there. So actually, even though a video might have, 20,000 views, you might only end up making about $15 off of it. And then if that's like an outstanding video, that's not like even like your average, then it's like that's really a rare exception to the amount of money you'll usually make off of doing a video, which is why some people do daily videos, because then there's like, let's say 23,000 views with a 1 minute average view duration is about 15 minutes, right? Well, then if you do daily videos and you pull in that same number, then over 30 days, you're pulling in $15 a day and you're making about $450 on YouTube a month, which obviously that's not going to pay your entire rent, utilities, and a car payment, but either if you're splitting costs or maybe you're just living rent free or whatever the case is, right? Like that's kind of more how that would work with that kind of a, view duration, because they add interaction and stuff like that, versus people who are watching, let's say, the entire 13-minute video, interacting with all the ads. And by interacting, I just mean like just watching the ads at the beginning or at the end and stuff like that. And then because of that longer view time and the more ads that are being watched at the end and the beginning and stuff like that too, that $15 can definitely go up a lot higher. And then that's why then if you do daily videos, you're making a lot more money than this the $15 a day and then the $450 in a 30-day period. So that's something I want to note, because if you are getting into it for the money side of it, which, maybe you really actually love YouTube, but you also then that's kind of why you want the money side of it, is because you want to be able to see if you can sustain yourself doing it on that side too. That is something to note. Then you kind of maybe want to just hit up your following as they grow and be like, if you could just disable ad block when watching your favorite creators' videos and then re-enable it afterwards, right? And then help your favorite creators maybe get paid more. Or the flip side is, hit them up on Patreon if they have one, or just follow them on Twitch and then subscribe to them on Twitch for the $4.99. Also, if you have Twitch Prime, this is something that a lot of people I don't think know necessarily. If you have an Amazon account, you can get a free Twitch Prime account, which basically gives you a free subscription to any channel on Twitch of your desire. Actually, you have to manually resub every month, every 30 days when it runs out, but you can subscribe to them for free. Usually a subscription is about $4.99 without tax though. But with Twitch Prime, you get one free subscription. So let's say I'm your favorite creator, and so you go over to Twitch, you have an Amazon account, you link it, and that way you get Twitch Prime. Then you can subscribe to me actually for free over on there and get our Jinx emote. We do have a Jinx emote, and I actually reworked it recently because it wasn't good enough in my opinion. I might rework it again as my arting skills get better too. But we have a Jinx emote on over there. I kept it as a tier 1 because I made that promise. I said if we got affiliated, I'd make our tier 1 a Jinx emote. We also do have a tier 2 emote though, which is Monokuma from Danganronpa dabbing while on fire. So there's that. I plan on making a tier 1 version because now they unlocked, there's more affiliate tier 1 opportunities now if you get more sub points, and so I'll make a tier 1 version, which is just Monokuma dabbing without the fire, and then I'll make a fire emote on its own. Basically, the tier 2 emote's a combination of 2 tier 1 emotes that I have in mind that I basically combined for the tier 2 emote. And then our tier 3 emote is the and knuckle symbol in gold, and then I have a tier 1 version that I've made, which is just the regular colored and symbol and the regular colored knuckles. So we do have those over there. If for some reason you actually do want to subscribe over to my Twitch, like I said, that'll be in the description, or at least the comments down below if you want to watch that. But in general, I'm going to end the video here. Like I said, it's going to be shorter than usual. Usually it's going to be a ramble, more of a thing, and it's going to be more organized and centric around Jinx, maybe some channel news and some update stuff. But I want to kind of give you guys an idea of what this is going to be, what's also kind of been going on, why channels maybe, or videos have been a little bit lower. Like I said, I'm kind of working with this thing, right? It's a league related thing. I'll say that. That's all I'll say for now. And you'll see it later this week when I finish it for sure. But that's kind of what's going on. What's the plan going forwards? And if you've watched this video this long, thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, work in progress. We're just going to call it the Jinx Chaos Theory Podcast. And in the future, there might be more than just me, for all we know. Maybe we'll have guests and stuff. We'll see how that goes, if this idea is well received or not. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button, because that's a thing let me talk about real quick. If you're subbed on someone on YouTube right now, it doesn't actually... Basically what happens is this. Let's say you like my videos, but you don't watch my videos all week because you're busy. YouTube will see that and decide, oh, hey, you must not like their videos anymore. Even though you subscribe to me, they'll stop showing up like on your home page unless you have the bell notification, which then tells YouTube, even if you're not watching my videos, still show me my videos like on the front page when you go on to YouTube for whatever reason, right? Like Twitch has a bell notification, but you have to turn it off if you don't want to see notifications. It's like the default is on, while on YouTube, the default it's off, and then you have to turn it on, which I think is backwards. But anyways, hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button, but I don't know which video will be next. We're just gonna have to wait and see. That's the wrong outro. I got both channels mixed up. Here we go. I don't know which video will be next, because life can have a lot of kinks. So until this time, take care. GG, get jinxed. Thank you for watching, and enjoy pizza responsibly.